Welcome to another episode of Dubb Academy. In today's video, we're talking about the call to action strategy guide. First up, what are CTAs? CTAs are short for calls to action. And now what does this actually mean? It's a pretty broad definition. So here you can just see links, buttons, and ultimately what we're after is conversions. The call to action is anything we're doing in our communications that's driving the recipient to take action, whether that's verbal or a link or a button. Ultimately, we're after the conversion. So we want that person to take the action that we designed our message to deliver. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking specifically how to effectively leverage CTAs in your business. So let's get right into it. Okay, so first up, we have different types of calls to action, when to use them, where to use them, how to use them. So the first thing is, what are our goals? What are we trying to achieve? Because there's a call to action for just about anything you're looking to accomplish. We have links. Links are any external link to a website, to something you are driving them toward. So a link's probably one of the most common call to actions. Click my link below. The other part is here is a call. There are actually systems that allow you to click that call to action button and it'll open up your cell phone and place a call or even a text message. So that's another type of call to action button for direct response to your business. You can also, of course, have downloads so that the recipient of your message can download an attachment of whatever you're wanting them to download. Form fills are a really powerful call to action because this is where you can generate leads and then even qualify them, further segmentation in your audience. So form fills are when somebody provides their first name, last name, email, things like that. So what information you're collecting in that form is completely up to you. Using a form as a call to action is one of the most powerful ways to collect leads. Using modern technology, a calendar has now actually become a type of call to action as well, where people can book a time directly in your calendar through your call to action button or link, or maybe the calendar's there directly, depending on the technology you're using. And lastly is video. Now, this is not a comprehensive list. Call to actions are not limited to this list here. There's many more that you can incorporate for your business, although these are some of the most important and direct ones that you should consider. Lastly, here is video. This means the ability to capture or respond or record, engage or interact with video through that call to action. One of the cool options Dubb provides is giving your recipients the ability to send a video to you through your call to action. Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg for different types of calls to action. As I mentioned, there's really any application you look for your business. All right, so where do we include calls to action? You know, the shorter answer might be, where do we not include calls to action? So really, calls to action should be throughout all of our sales and marketing communication. Now, there's exceptions where every once in a while, if you're posting on social or doing certain types of short messages where we don't necessarily need to utilize a call to action. Most of the time, we're going to be incorporating calls to action into every single intent-driven message we're creating for our business. So when we have a goal in mind of why we're creating the message, that's where that call to action comes in place. So a call to action in the email might be in the form of a link or a button or a video. A call to action through social may be the same thing. It might be a link, it may be a video, or it might even be a verbal call to action included in a video or even a voice message. The intention here is to include calls to action at opportune times. So when you're scrolling through a page, that call to action button, sign up now, is right where it should be if the web page designer did their job right. And so incorporating calls to action into our business, into our messaging is no different. You wouldn't start a message with saying, buy now, and then move on to continue to explain what they're buying. You'd typically present that message first with a call to action right at the end where it makes sense to drive that call to action. Where to place calls to action in your sales and marketing messages is often a copywriting decision. So this is a balance of where to put your message, who you're speaking to, and the action you're looking for. The takeaway here for where to include calls to action is everywhere in your sales and marketing messages. Anytime you're looking to drive a specific action is when you need to incorporate that call to action into your message. Otherwise, what are they supposed to do? Yeah, I've talked a lot about what to do with CTAs and where they should go and what types of CTAs. So almost equally as important is what not to do with CTAs. So the first and probably most common mistake of using calls to action in people's business is incorporating too many calls to action. By incorporating too many calls to actions into your sales and marketing messages, you can have your prospect enter what's called analysis paralysis, where they just have too many choices and they don't know which one to take. So by having too many calls to action in your sales and marketing messages, you may be causing more harm than benefit. On the opposite side, we have not enough. So oftentimes people will create messages and not incorporate enough calls to action or the right call to action or at the right time. As I gave the example of incorporating the call to action as the first step in a message or there's a first line in a message, usually not the right place. And when I say not enough calls to action, typically the best practice here is one. However, depending on that use case, like if we are reaching out to a cold audience, a single call to action might not be the best choice. In that case, maybe we want to have the ultimate thing that we're after, that booking, that phone call, that purchase, but then maybe we want a secondary option for them to take depending on where they're at in the customer lifecycle journey. Lastly here is priority. So say you have the right number of CTAs or they're in the right place, or you have more than one, we need to make sure you're prioritizing the most important calls to action for your business and the goal that you're trying to achieve. So if your goal is booking, obviously your calendar is your number one priority. So if you have 4 other CTAs there along with your calendar, that might hurt the priority of your calendar. Prioritization is a really important component of making sure you have the right CTA for what you're trying to accomplish in the right place at the right time. All right, so we've now talked about all the different types of CTAs, why they're important and how to incorporate them in your business, maybe also what not to do. So now let's talk about how to get better. The basics are covered, but how do we optimize? We're going to talk about video calls to action. Now, what we do here at Dubb is exactly this. The Dubb platform provides the ability to increase your conversions on your calls to actions by using the power of video. Studies from HubSpot, Campaign Monitor, and many other reputable sources have shown that including video in sales and marketing messages like emails and landing pages can increase conversions significantly. Dubb allows you to create videos and incorporate calls to action easier than any other option on the internet today. The Dubb platform is designed to build actionable videos with just the click of a button from any device you're on. You can even take existing videos and upload those to Dubb, even YouTube videos, and add calls to action right below the video. So you can drive more call to action conversions for your business. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video today, and hopefully you found some value and you'll begin incorporating calls to action in your sales and marketing messages with a little bit more thought and a little bit more efficiency. If you haven't already, check out a free trial at dubb.com.